This happened 4 years ago. I've barely talked about it since. People either think I'm lying or losing it. But I know what I saw. My friends and I used to go hiking every fall. It was tradition. Pick a new trail, camp overnight, drink by the fire, and tell stories. That year, we chose an area in the Appalachian Range, deep woods off a state route, totally off-grid. The forest there was old, heavy, like it remembered things. We hiked 6 miles in and made camp near a clearing. Everything seemed normal until after midnight. That's when we heard the screaming. It came from the trees, high, distant, not quite human. Too long, too dry, like something imitating a person but not getting it right. We thought it was an animal, until we heard the voice. "Help me!" My friend Josh shouted back, thinking someone was actually hurt. But the voice repeated itself. Exactly the same words, same tone, same inflection, over and over. "Help me, help me, help me." Then the whispering started. Thousands of voices, all around us. No wind, no movement, just sound. Like the forest itself was breathing words. Josh grabbed a flashlight and ran into the trees shouting, "Hello, where are you?" We tried to stop him, but he was gone. 10 seconds later, the whispering stopped. Dead silence. We searched until sunrise. Never found him. We called in search and rescue. They combed the woods for 5 days. Nothing. Not a shoe. Not a shred of fabric. Then, on the 6th day, we found his phone. It was lying perfectly centered in that same clearing. Like someone had placed it there. We turned it on and looked through the camera roll. There was a photo. Just one. Taken at 3:17 a.m., the time he vanished. It was a blurry shot of the forest, too dark to see much, but in the corner, barely lit by the flash, was his face. Just his face. His mouth was open wide like he was screaming, and his eyes were completely black. That photo was dated 1 day after he went missing. We left that morning and never went back. None of us speak about it, but sometimes I still dream about the voice in the woods, repeating that broken phrase. "Help me." But now, in the dream, it sounds like Josh. About a year ago, I bought a box of old photography gear at an estate sale. Mostly junk, dusty lenses, cracked filters, a broken Polaroid camera from the 80s. But in the bottom of the box was something strange. A thick manila envelope labeled, "Do not open, property of MG." Of course I opened it. Inside were about 50 Polaroid photos. All of the same thing, a dark hallway. Each photo taken from the same angle, looking straight down that hallway toward a closed door at the end. Same grainy lighting. Same shadows. Nothing special. At first. Then I noticed something. In the very last photo, there was a figure. Standing at the end of the hall. Just barely visible in the shadows. Tall, slim, with his head tilted too far to the side like it was broken. No facial features I could make out. Just pale skin and total stillness. I showed my wife. She said it gave her the worst feeling, like someone was standing right behind her while she looked at it. She made me put the photos away. That night, we both woke up at exactly 3:33 a.m. No noise. No nightmare. Just awake. In the hallway outside our room, we heard a creak. Then another. Slow, heavy footsteps. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Opened the door. Nothing there. But the air smelled like something wet and old, like moldy wood left to rot in a basement. We didn't sleep. Over the next few nights, things got worse. I started seeing the man from the photo. In reflections. In the corner of my eye. Once, I swear I saw him standing inside our hallway. Same broken neck, same stare. But when I blinked, he was gone. I burned the photos the next day. All of them. But that night, taped to our front door, was a single Polaroid. The hallway again. Same view. Only this time, the door at the end was open. I never really thought much about memory. I mean, people forget things all the time, right? Misplacing your keys, walking into a room and forgetting why, forgetting if you locked the door or turned off the oven. It's just life. But what if you started losing more than just the little things? It started 3 months ago. I found a photo tucked behind a book on my shelf, me and someone else. A man I didn't recognize, standing next to me like we were best friends. I was smiling, holding up a peace sign. On the back it said, "Me and Hollow 2020. I've never known anyone named Hollow. And I never took that picture. But there it was. Me, same haircut, same house in the background. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe a prank. Maybe I was losing track of time. Then it got worse. One morning I woke up with a deep, clean cut across my palm. Not a scratch, surgical. I had no memory of how it happened. There was blood in the sink. A trail of it, but it was dry, like it had been there for hours. My bandages were in the trash, already used. Only, I hadn't wrapped it yet. That same week, I came home and found a jacket hanging on the hook by the door. I never bought it. It didn't fit me. Inside, stitched neatly on the tag, were two initials, EH. I started to feel like my life was being edited when I wasn't looking. Like someone was splicing in pieces of someone else's existence. Then came the mirror. I don't spend a lot of time looking at myself. I'm not vain. But one night, brushing my teeth, I noticed something off. My reflection blinked slower than I did. It sounds insane, I know. But I tested it. I'd lift my left hand, so would the reflection. I'd smile, it would smile. But when I leaned in close, real close, my reflection didn't quite match. The smile was just a little wider. The eyes just a little too still. I backed away. Thought maybe it was stress. Sleep deprivation. Anything but what I was really starting to believe. That whatever was in the mirror wasn't me. The next night, I turned off all the lights and stared into the mirror by candlelight. Just watching. And that's when I saw it, a door. Not in my room. Only in the reflection. It was barely visible at first. A narrow wooden door in the corner of the room behind me. Brass hinges. A keyhole. I turned around quickly, nothing. But in the mirror, it was clear as day. Every night after that, I saw the door more clearly. It was getting closer. Each night, inching forward in the reflection, like it was moving toward me while I slept. And then one night, the door was open. Inside the mirrored door was blackness. Not empty darkness, but something thick. Something that pulsed. I leaned in, and my reflection leaned in too. But then it stopped. My reflection kept moving. It stepped forward into the black room in the mirror. One step. Two. Gone. And I was left staring at an empty reflection. No me. Just the room. The open door. And that space behind it, humming. I ran. I tried to cover the mirror with a sheet, but the next morning, the sheet was on the floor, and the mirror was clean. Too clean. Like it had never been touched. But I hadn't dusted that mirror in months. The reflection was back. But it wasn't right. My reflection would tilt its head, just slightly, whenever I stood in front of it. Not when I moved. When I was perfectly still. Like it was studying me. The final night, I woke to the sound of glass creaking. That thin, high-pitched strain of something pushing against it. I sat up, and across the room, I saw movement. The mirror. There were fingerprints on the inside of the glass. 5 of them. Pressing out. Slowly, like something was trying to crawl through. Then a face. My face. Smiling. But not with my eyes. And behind it, a man. Wearing that same jacket. EH, stitched into the front. His eyes were solid black. Mouth stitched closed, like it had been sewn shut long ago. And still he smiled. I ran. I left everything behind. Moved across the city. I haven't looked into a mirror since. Not really. Not longer than a glance. Because sometimes, even now, in dark windows or the shine of a phone screen, I see something standing behind my reflection. Smiling. Waiting. And one day, I know, my reflection won't come back.